Gabgab Beach is a popular spot for military personnel and their families, but very few are aware of the history that lies beneath. Just recently, ancient remains were discovered. Archaeologist Sandy Yee says what was dug up were the remains of a young boy or a girl and artifacts.
It was a surprise. We hadn't expected to hit anything this close to the beach, but he's deep enough. He was probably undisturbed by previous storms.
You say he.
That's generic.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, we don't know, male or female. Probably won't. It appears to be a juvenile pre-puberty, so there wouldn't have been any changes we could really note. There is, though, throughout this whole area of Gabgab, a lot of cultural material on the surface and below.
And while dating these artifacts would be difficult, she believes they're pre-contact, anywhere between 800 and 1500 AD.
We believe most everything that we've been finding in this layer is all Latte period. We don't find any Spanish or European materials mixed in with this layer yet. Once we get above, we've got modern trash. But this seems to be Latte period, probably pre-contact, so we're talking sometime probably before the 1500s. We don't find within this layer pre-Latte material. There have been bits of it on the surface around here that probably were dug up during previous. So this area probably has had a prolonged habitation, but this burial is of the Latte period.
It hasn't been decided what will happen to the remains. Yee says, though, there are two options.
What's going to happen with these remains? Are we going to dig them up, or what are the options that you're looking at?
Well, the preferred option is always to leave them in place. Note where they are, and today we have GPS so that we could always come back and say, okay, you can't put a utility line here. But since this is already partially disturbed, it's still being determined by the powers that be whether or not we continue the excavation to take it out and then have a ceremonial reburial, or if it will be left in place.
It was just last year other remains were discovered on the other side of the peninsula, those at Dadi Beach. The burial site was believed to be part of another village, and instead of digging up the remains, they were left intact at the site.
Roti Peninsula was inhabited, and it was villages on several sites in different locations. The historic maps show us probably half a dozen different little village sites were out here. It's just people don't think about it today because they're made into recreation areas or they're off limits. But we have a very active reef here, and finding village sites, and of course where you live is where the family would bury. So village sites and burials are a common thing all around Guam. But out here on Roti we did have quite a few village sites that are known and being explored more with all the construction for the buildup. We're taking extra precautions to be sure that we protect these.